Hey guys, today's installation video will be going over how to install the 1/4 inch hex bit driver onto the Leatherman Arc. This tool will replace the standard bit driver and can opener that you can see here. Realistically, it is able to go on either side. However, I recommend keeping this side open for an upgrade that I will release in an upcoming video. So the first step that we're going to want to establish is what tools we're going to need for this installation, and that's going to be 2 T8 bits. I have found when disassembling Leathermans, because I have to do it a lot, that it's useful to have one that remains stationary on the backside, and so that's why I hold mine in a pair of vice grips. But just 2 screwdrivers will work, and my other is just a standard screwdriver with a T8 on the end. So what we're going to want to do is identify which side has the can opener and bit driver, and then for mine I'm going to place the right side or the blade side down into this T8 slot just to hold the back side still. And then from this side I'm going to unscrew this bolt, and we'll set it somewhere carefully so that we don't lose it. The next step that we're going to want to do is kind of wiggle this side frame out to kind of pop everything loose. And you'll notice that there's a washer on the outside of the saw, so you want to be careful not to lose that. So what I recommend doing is taking the T8 and just pushing that shoulder bolt just a tad bit farther in, and then using some sort of small screwdriver or something like that to kind of scrape this washer out. And I'll set this to the side as well. As we slowly back this bolt out through here, we'll slowly take the tools out one by one. So I can feel that it just clicked past the saw, so I will take the saw out. These, you can see that there are 4 of these little cross beams. These are the actual springs that give this tool its spring mechanism for the locking. So we'll leave those in, but as we back this out, we will remove this for now, but it will be going back in later, so don't throw it out. Then we will take out the bit driver, and I'll back this bolt out just a tad bit more, and we'll take out the can opener. Now, as you can see, let's see if I can get a little bit better lighting here. As you can see, this bolt has to fit through the spring mechanism, and it's kind of a tight fit, so when we get to it in a little bit, it might bind up on the edges of this plate. So you'll kind of need to wiggle it around and move it to get it to seat through, but this is kind of the best place to be able to view that while it's apart. So what you're going to want to take next is, you can have a bit in or out. I'm just leaving it in just because this bit on the end gives me a little bit more to hold on to during installation, but it's not necessary. So this side with the point will face up, and I'll lower it down into the slot, and you'll have to wiggle it around until it goes through. As you can see, the bolt was able to pass all the way through. You can also look to the other side to try to make sure everything is aligned. Now, I actually designed this in order to be able to work with the standard bit retention. So I'm also going to set this bit retention back into the tool. As you can see, it passed through, and then I'll have to do the same thing trying to get it to pass through this spring mechanism. Now, I got lucky and it went through easy on mine, but sometimes it does get bound up on the side and you'll just need to work it a little. The next step that we're going to do is take our saw and reinstall the saw. As you can see, mine is not wanting to just immediately seat, so I'll kind of take a view through the end, kind of wiggle it around a little bit, and I'm able to get the bolt to pass through. Perfect. Now I'm going to lift up on this frame a little bit to separate. I don't want to fully back this bolt out because I want something for the washer to be able to seat on, but I'm going to just ever so slightly flex this out and try to set this washer there. As you can see, this washer is seating, and then I'm going to use something from the side to kind of push it into place. And the reason I do that is because as soon as I pushed while it was under pressure, it immediately locked into place and won't fall back out. And the last step that you can see is these like little pins that go on the end. You'll need to kind of lift them and push them back into your slot and just double check that it's flush on both sides. So the final step will be to put our bolt back in, and I recommend doing a little bit of blue Loctite here. So put just a dab on the threads of the bolt and then thread it back in. So I'm going to thread mine in just a little bit hand tight at first, and then I will sit my tool back onto my holder and then take my screwdriver and do the final bit of torquing that I need to do on here. Now, the tighter you tighten this bolt, the harder it'll be to get these tools out. So I kind of over tightened mine a little bit. So I'm going to back it out just a tad. They don't need a ton of pressure on these bolts, and a little bit goes a long way. So for me, that's no play, but I'm able to get it in and out. So that's perfect for me. And that is the 1/4 inch bit driver installation video for the Leatherman Art.